California is on fire. Again, the Golden State has become synonymous with these devastating blazes. We've all seen the apocalyptic images: orange skies, fleeing residents, and neighborhoods reduced to ash. It's a scene that has become all too familiar. But behind the dramatic visuals lies a sobering reality: the astronomical cost of these disasters. The financial toll is staggering and continues to rise. We're not just talking about the immediate damage, although that alone is staggering. The destruction of homes, businesses, and infrastructure is just the beginning. We're talking about the long-term economic fallout that touches every corner of the state and beyond. The ripple effects are felt far and wide. Buckle up, folks, because things are about to get expensive. The financial burden is immense and growing. The recent wildfires have scorched hundreds of thousands of acres in California, leaving a trail of destruction in their wake. The landscape is forever altered. Early estimates place the damage cost somewhere between $25 billion and a mind-boggling $250 billion. The numbers are hard to comprehend. To put that in perspective, $250 billion is roughly the GDP of Portugal. It's an astronomical figure. That's right, Portugal could kiss its Vinho Verde goodbye, and it still wouldn't cover the cost of these fires. The scale of the financial impact is unprecedented. This isn't just a California problem, the effects are felt across the nation. What happens in California rarely stays in California. The economic and environmental impacts spread far and wide. These fires are a stark reminder of the growing threat of climate change and the urgent need for action. The time to act is now. Now you might be thinking, hold on, doesn't Texas have wildfires too? You're right, they absolutely do. In fact, Texas wildfires often burn larger areas than those in California. Just last year, a wildfire in Texas scorched over 1 million acres. That's twice the acreage burned in the recent California fires. So why are we talking about California? Because, dear viewers, size isn't everything. While the Texas fire was undoubtedly devastating, it resulted in a relatively meager $100 million in damages, a drop in the bucket compared to California's multi-billion-dollar inferno. This begs the question, why the huge price discrepancy? Well, it turns out that where the fire burns matters just as much as how much burns. Here's the thing about California: it's beautiful, it's desirable, and it's really, really expensive to live in. Especially in those picturesque coastal areas that everyone wants a piece of. Unfortunately, those areas also happen to be incredibly fire-prone. Think Malibu, Pacific Palisades, Hollywood Hills, places where the average home price hovers around $3 to $4 million. Now imagine thousands of those multi-million-dollar homes going up in flames. That's the reality of California wildfires. In fact, an estimated 15,000 to 16,000 homes were destroyed in the recent fires, many of which were located in these high-value areas. Texas, on the other hand, while no stranger to sprawling ranches, tends to have more, shall we say, affordable real estate in its fire-prone regions. So when a wildfire tears through a sparsely populated area, the financial impact is significantly less. It's a tragic equation, but an equation nonetheless. More valuable assets plus fire equals bigger financial ouch. Section 4. The economic ash, tourism, housing, and jobs up in smoke. The financial fallout from these fires extends far beyond the charred remains of homes and businesses. The economic impact is felt across multiple sectors, creating a ripple effect that touches every corner of the state. California's tourism industry, a $40 billion behemoth, has been hit hard. The once bustling tourist spots now stand eerily empty, devoid of the usual throngs of visitors. The images of smoke-filled skies and fleeing tourists aren't exactly a ringing endorsement for the Golden State. The perception of danger has led to a significant drop in visitor numbers. With attractions closed, flights canceled, and a lingering fear of smoke inhalation, it's no surprise that tourists are staying away in droves. The economic loss is staggering. The result? An estimated 500,000 tourism jobs are at risk, businesses are shutting down, and the once thriving hospitality sector is reeling. The livelihoods of countless individuals hang in the balance, and for those who call California home, the nightmare is far from over. The emotional and financial toll on residents is immense. The destruction of thousands of homes has created a massive housing shortage, sending rental prices soaring. The housing crisis exacerbates the already dire situation. Families who lost everything are now faced with the impossible choice of paying exorbitant rents or leaving the state they call home. The sense of displacement is profound. It's a lose-lose situation that highlights the fragility of California's economy in the face of these increasingly common disasters. The need for comprehensive solutions has never been more urgent. Section 5. Passing the buck. The government and insurance respond. So, who's going to pay for all of this? It's a question on everyone's mind as they look at the devastation. Well, the federal government has stepped in, as they often do after major disasters, promising financial aid for cleanup and emergency shelters. This aid is crucial for immediate relief. But let's be real, folks, the government's pockets are deep, but they're not bottomless. There's only so much they can do. And the amount of aid being offered is a drop in the bucket compared to the billions of dollars in damage. The scale of destruction is simply overwhelming. Then there's the insurance industry, or what's left of it in California. It's a sector in turmoil. Some of the big players like State Farm and Allstate have thrown in the towel altogether, refusing to offer wildfire insurance in the state. Can you blame them? The risks are just too high. They're looking at an estimated $40 billion in claims, and that's just for starters. The financial burden is staggering. For those insurance companies still brave enough to offer coverage, the landscape is fraught with challenges. Get ready for some sky-high premiums. The cost of insuring a home in these high-risk areas is set to soar. The cost of insurance in California was already steep, but after this, it's likely to become utterly ludicrous. Many homeowners are left wondering if they can even afford it. It's a classic case of privatizing profits and socializing losses. The system seems rigged against the average person. The insurance companies rake in the dough during the good times, but when disaster strikes, it's taxpayers and homeowners left holding the bag. The cycle continues, leaving many feeling helpless. Section 6. Ripples of impact from lumber to lungs. But wait, there's more. The financial fallout from these fires doesn't stop at insurance premiums and lost tourism revenue. Remember all those homes that burned down? Well, someone's got to rebuild them. And that means a surge in demand for construction materials. Lumber, concrete, steel, you name it, the price is going up. And don't even get me started on the car shortage. Thousands of vehicles were incinerated in the fires, further straining an already depleted supply chain. So, if you're in the market for a new car, be prepared to pay a king's ransom. Thanks, wildfires. But perhaps the most insidious cost of all is the impact on public health. The smoke from these fires doesn't just disappear overnight. It lingers in the air, seeping into our lungs, causing respiratory problems and increasing healthcare costs. It's a silent killer that will continue to affect Californians long after the flames are extinguished. Section 7. The price we all pay, unveiling the true cost of wildfires. So, who ultimately pays the price for these devastating wildfires? The answer, as is so often the case, is all of us. We pay through higher insurance premiums, higher taxes, higher prices for goods and services, and a healthcare system burdened by the long-term effects of smoke inhalation. But the true cost goes far beyond dollars and cents. It's the loss of lives, homes, and livelihoods. It's the displacement of communities and the destruction of irreplaceable ecosystems. It's a stark reminder that climate change is not some distant threat. It's here, it's now, and it's costing us dearly. The time for half measures and political posturing is over. We need real action to address the root causes of climate change and mitigate the devastating impacts of these increasingly frequent and severe wildfires. The future of California, and indeed the planet, depends on it.